Welcome back everyone to our coverage of our Ashes Rise of the Phoenixborn draft tournament.
So this is the third and final video we're going to release from this tournament. It's not a game, it's the actual drafting process as seen from my eyes. You've seen me play this deck now in 2 games, and when we come into when the video starts here, we've already drafted our Phoenixborn. So I've drafted Ardell's Summer Guard, and she's got a battlefield of 8 units. She can
Which is
handle,
massive.
That's the Swarm Lord kind of strength. So she's able to hold a lot of units. She's got a lot smaller spellboard, but still not insignificant. She's got a spellboard of 4, which
four is usually enough.
Yeah, I mean that's just a regular sized spellboard, and she's got that unit, the unit removal ability of Water Blast.
And here we see her signature card that you got when you drafted her.
Exactly. In the draft format, in the draft format you get the signature card, the loyal cards with the Phoenixborn. So it's the summon spell for this, the Blue Jaguar. It's an amazing unit for 2
mana.
Basic mana. Any 2 dice, I can put one of these guys on the table. It's got 2 health, 2 attack, which is pretty decent stats for 2 dice. But it's got the amazing ability of Gaze, which for any die, I used to remove any die as a reaction to a unit entering the battlefield.
Yeah.
And then I can exhaust that unit for the whole round. It's crazy good. So we all received 9 cards, and when you draft one of these cards, you will automatically receive 3 copies of that card. So I'm looking at the hand. Immediately I put Molten Gold first there, because you can't discard that card. It's such a strong card. It's direct damage. But there are some other really good cards in this hand here.
I think Redirect, we see Fade Away,
Golden Whale. There are some really strong cards in this hand, but I really couldn't pass up Molten Gold. For 2 top die of the nature deck though.
It's expensive, that's true.
It's really expensive, but it's 3 direct to your face damage to the Phoenixborn.
And it's also placed, so you can redirect it usually.
No redirection. There's really not much in the game that could save you from this happening. You can use, I think you can use Shadow Counter or something like this.
I think there's one. Yeah,
but that won't prevent the damage. It will just allow you to hit back. And I'm not sure Shadow Counter's actually working.
No, I think it's Sympathy Pain.
Sympathy Pain. Well, there are some things that would work, but nothing will really prevent that damage. It's such a strong card. So this is my second hand. Seeing that I'm playing Ardell, I already have a summon spell, as you could see, the Summon Blue Jaguar, but I'm looking to have a lot of things that could fill up my board. And in this hand, there is the Summon Mist Spirit, and nothing really floods the battlefield like the Mist Spirits does. They are shumps, but they can work real well in a swarm deck. You get to play 2 each turn. For just 2 dice. Well, one of them is a basic mana, and one of them will be a mask. So I do end up picking the Summon Mist Spirits.
And I suppose you could say you get more bang for your buck, I suppose, with your Blue Jaguars, but
a lot more. But
then
still,
again, you need the bodies.
I just want the bodies and if the swarm deck is to work, I just need to have lots of them. So here we got the Blood Archer, which is a really, really strong ally, but it's very expensive.
Yeah.
We got 2 more summon spells. I'm not sure which ones those were.
Let's see. I think it's a False Demon, the one
perhaps,
right there. Yeah,
perhaps,
with the big demon face.
Yeah, and I don't really have anything that I need to protect. So I'm looking at the Gilder. Yeah, that's the Summon Gilder.
Yeah.
And that's just one of those really strong cards as well. It does so much in just one card. It does cost a heart, a charm die, to play the summon spell onto your spellboard. But then for a leaf, a nature die, you can summon a Gilder, and you will ping. At the moment you summon the Gilder, you will ping 1 damage on a unit. And then the unit in itself, Gilder, is a really good unit with Unit Guard, 1 attack, 2 life, and it's got this inexhaustible ability inheritance that will allow you, when it is removed from the game, you get to, or when it leaves play, you get to put a status token on any unit. So if I can find any unit that will benefit from status tokens, it will synergize with that really
and
well.
even without that synergy, it's a good card. So
Still, yeah, definitely.
we could say that you got 3 good, strong cards in your opening hand, along with your signature spell, putting you off to a really good start.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this start. I do think I want to grab a decent ally as well at this point, and I want some mana recursion. I would like to have some toolboxy things. I need something to be able to remove threats. I do have the Water Blast ability on my Phoenixborn, which allows me to ping a unit for 2 damage, which is pretty strong. But Chandra Revenge isn't really going to work in this deck with the small units. Redirect would protect my Phoenixborn, so that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at I can't recall the name of that card, but this is Refresh, which is a toolboxy thing, and
Removes
Shadow Counter.
all your exhaustion tokens from a unit.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the Shadow Counter there, which would allow me to remove problematic units. When my Phoenixborn takes damage, I can remove a unit.
Well, you can deal 6 damage to it.
Basically remove a unit.
Remove, unless it's really buff. I mean, like an Iron Rhino or something like that.
Yeah, and something. But even those would be within Water Blast range after that.
I think they would die from that, but you could have probably buffed it up with like armor and stuff like that. And then I think we saw the Summon Sleeping Widows.
Yeah. Which is, I'm obviously thinking about that, but I already have a lot of conjurations in my deck, so I go for the Shadow Counter.
Yes.
It goes with the mana theme I'm building right now. I've got things that cost nature and illusion mainly, and I have one thing that also costs a little bit of charm. So
I think we see not golden whale. We see what's that?
That's the strange copy, and we see
the wrong one is, I can't remember the name, but the card essentially increases the attack of one of your units.
Yeah, which would be interesting in my deck, obviously. But then you have hidden
Shifting Mists.
A Shifting Mist, which would remove if I end up in a mirror match, that would be strong. But I'm looking at the Hidden Power, I think that's called.
Yeah, that's Hidden Power.
Which is mana recursion, and that's always something you need. You pay a mask. It fits into my mana scheme that I'm trying to build. I don't want to have a rainbow mana. I want to go for 3 kinds of mana, and I want to specialize in one sort of mana.
Yeah.
And here we have Reflections in the Water, which would be a great way to be able to deal with problematic units, especially units with really strange and powerful abilities. So that's why I'm looking so carefully at that one. It's pretty much the thing I might need to put in my opening hand.
Yeah.
So I get that. And here I do get to see the redirect again. I don't know what I'm thinking about here, because redirect is the obvious choice for me here. It allows. I only have 16 health with the Ardell Phoenixborn, so I need some way to protect her against strong units beating her. And redirect allows me to let one of my units take the hit instead of her. So I could redirect any strong unit attacking my Phoenixborn onto a Mist Spirit or anything, a shot like that. So redirect should really be the only card I'm looking at here.
Yes. And throughout here, as we displayed the cards, we can just see some of the good artwork that I was talking about earlier.
Definitely.
And Playhat has gone with using the same artist for all the cards, which is really nice.
So I grabbed the redirect, and then I grabbed the strange copy, which will synergize with the Guilders, and then I end up getting the last card will be a blood transfer, which will do nothing in my deck, and I won't even try to grab the mana I need to be able to use it. I'll just have it for meditation purposes if I ever draw it. Strange copy could be something there was probably too much text for anyone to be able to read the whole card when it was on screen.
But you've seen it in play.
You've seen it in play in the game if you watch the games. It copies the strength of the attack value of any of the cards on your opponent's battlefield, and it will also receive the same amount of health.
Attack in life.
Yeah, exactly. So you will put status tokens and enough status tokens to show that, and it will synergize with the Guilders. Whenever the Guilder leave play, I will be able to boost both the life and the attack value of the strange copy for 1. It's a fleeting card, so it will leave play after the first round, but it's still cheap, and it gives me that punch that I probably will need sometimes.
And that's your 10 unique cards in your
Those are the 10 cards, and that's it. So
so essentially each player will also draft the dice they want, so you'll have a pool of 10 of each die, I think, and then you'll take 2 each turn, and until you have 10 die.
So there's 40 dice here. We are 3 players recruiting from this, and starting with Linus to my left, so I'll be going last in this. He will grab 2 dice, any 2 dice you like, and then Johan will grab 2 dice, and then I'll grab 2 dice, and we'll go around like this until we all got 10 dice.
No,
so
I think we actually started with Johan here, and Linus is in.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So we get. I'm looking to get nature and illusion mostly. Those are my 2 key mana types, but I did grab some things that work off charm as well. The charm die ability for the top die will be pretty useful in my deck, seeing that most of my units are chumps. Being able to boost them to 1 extra health, 1 extra attack will be very useful for me. So I'll be trying to grab, as you can see, I'll grab illusion dice mostly. I'll grab 1 illusion die every time, and then I'll try to get my nature dice up to at least 3. Probably I'll stay at 3. And then I'm not sure whether or not I'll be happy with 2 charm dice, or if I'm going to get that 3rd charm die as well. So it doesn't seem like anyone is going to restrict my ability to grab dice. So the nature dice seem to be the only other one that anyone else is grabbing. So I'll take a nature and a illusion. Probably I was looking to get 2 illusion even, but I'll end up taking another nature there. So now I'll be able to get that 3rd charm die and that 4th illusion die, and finishing out. I think that's probably a decent spread of dice for me, seeing how the die ability of the charm dice is pretty good. And now I have everything I need to be able to play all the cards I have in my deck except for the Blood Transfer, which really doesn't work in my deck anyway. No. So that's it. Yeah, that's all the cards. All right, hope you enjoyed this as well. And if you haven't already seen the 2 games that I played with this deck, go back to the channel and watch those 2 games.
And for any of you out there that might think of running a similar tournament, we played this by using the rules suggested in the rules manual for Ashes.
Yeah, and I personally, I think that's probably not the optimal drafting format for me. I like to have slightly more control over the deck, even in a draft format. So we're going to look into making house rules on the drafting formats.
Yeah, we've been talking about making some changes to make it more flexible in what you choose. Because right now you get your 10 cards, and you have no options on how many of each you include.
No.
So maybe some cards you don't want to draft at all. For instance, the Blood Transfer that Viktor picked here, it did nothing for him.
No,
maybe if you had some options, you would not have had that in the deck.
Exactly. Obviously, that's a way of making the deck slightly more balanced in a backwards way, so that they don't get too strong. But I'd rather probably see that you draft a little bit more cards, and then you can pick and choose, and you don't have to include 3 copies of each. You can have a 1-off or a 2-off of some cards, and just go for 3 for the ones that you really like.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome. So thanks a lot for watching, and keep tuned for more great
content.
Videos.
More content for all the LCGs and ECGs. We are producing video content for basically all of them.
We have an upcoming tournament next Saturday for Game of Thrones.
Indeed, which will be recorded, and probably it will end up here on the channel within...
As fast as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Within a reasonable amount of time.
All right, see you around.
Bye-bye.